Today's video is going to be a bit of a sad one. I've visited a lot of abandoned stadiums in my time for this channel. A lot of them were abandoned decades ago, from Stainton Park and Furs Park up in Scotland, all the way to Aylesbury United Stadium down south in England. That was abandoned a little bit sooner than the other two. But yeah, this one was abandoned just 2 years ago and used to be one of the oldest continually used stadiums in all of Britain. Welcome to the former home of former football club Bury FC, Gigg Lane. Built in 1885, this was one of the oldest football grounds in the world still in use until the sad demise of Bury in 2019. Expelled from the EFL for financial reasons, I always knew this club was a decent sized League One, sort of League Two club growing up. Of course, a huge football fan. I'd see them on Soccer Saturday and yeah, just knew them as a, you know, fairly big team in England. Yeah, during my lifetime, they were kind of third, fourth tier, and we'll be getting into a bit of how they did as a club a little bit later on in this video. However, yeah, they have 2 FA Cups to their name and even have the record of the highest scoring cup final of all time, a 6-0 win over Derby in 1903, only equalled by Manchester City in 2019 against Watford. They finished as high as 4th in the top tier of England in between the 2 world wars. Just look at that. In their earlier life, they were a top tier club, sometimes second tier, but an FA Cup winning side as well. So in the early stages of league football in England, this was one of the biggest teams around. They were a second tier team as recently as the 1990s, but now this iteration of the club no longer exists. Man City legend Colin Bell even started his playing career here. He went on to play around 48 times for England, scoring 9 goals. He also won the Cup Winners' Cup, FA Cup, the league title, and more trophies during his career. But he actually started his career here at Bury. What a massive club this used to be, and it's such a sad story and a sad state to see it like this right now. And we will be going to visit the Phoenix Club a little bit later on. I'm going to see their new stadium where they play. But yeah, what a huge club it used to be, and what a sad state this is here. And yeah, just look at this Banksy style kind of little painting here, save us, little girl writing it. I'm not sure what this says. This old abandoned piece of metal off the stadium. Just look at some of the doors, how rusty they are, and just how grim it has become. Even just in 2 years, the weeds and the paint and stuff just chipped off, and the cobwebs. Such a sad state for a 2 times FA Cup winner. Record FA Cup winner after their 6-0 win. The other FA Cup that they won was a 4-0 win. So their record score, or their aggregate score rather, in FA Cup finals is 10-0. And a 100% win record in FA Cup finals. But just look at this, some of the support from fans of other teams. Look at this, support your local football club. Something that I always tell people to do. Look at this, a Gigg Lane t-shirt, goodbye for now. Goodbye for now, it's been 2 years. How long have these been here? This old Bury shirt, another old Bury shirt there. What other clubs do we have? Also Bury, Manchester United, Manchester City, Portsmouth, City again. What do we have in here? United, Scotland, there we go. The boys. Got a few that have fallen. Look at that, even Radamel Falcao is in support of Bury as a Hull. And RIP Bury from OAFC, Oldham Athletic, I imagine. Yeah, Oldham shirt. Wow. Arsenal, more Man United. Of course, this is just outside of Manchester, so there will be a lot of support from the Manchester clubs as well. But this, ooh, on a day like today, a cold, wintry, sort of grey day, where the weather is a bit meh, it just feels weird. See if we can get in any of these doors. I imagine we can't. Look at this, ground rebuilding works, summer of 1992, Cheetham Hill Construction Limited. Little did they know in 1992 what would happen. You know, 30 years later, less than 30 years later, completely gone. due to the mismanagement of finances from a terrible owner. We will be getting into it in just a second, but all completely shut, of course. The main reception, of which Colin Bell would have walked through at some point, and Luther Blissett. They've had some legends here at the club. Bury were formed in 1885, the original Bury. Like I said, there's a Phoenix club now. The originals were formed in 1885 and actually played here at Gigg Lane from that very year. Like I say, this was one of the oldest stadiums in the country, but just look at it now. The first Football League match to be played here was in 1894 as Bury beat Manchester City 4-2. Just imagine telling the fans of that day the direction that both clubs would go in. Manchester City now spending 100 million on Jack Grealish, whilst Bury are winking out of existence because of appalling ownership. You have one side of the coin where there's billions of pounds being invested into a football club, the one that lost that day in that first league match here, and the team that won that day by 4-2 now no longer technically exists. But yeah, the team that lost that day, Manchester City, are now hunting for Champions League titles, winning Premier League titles every year, cups. They've got the cash, whereas Bury, the winners of that game, are now left with a Phoenix club, and the stadium is just in ruins here. The old capacity of the ground was around 35,000 back in the standing days of stadiums, but in the 1990s, after modernisation and refurbishment, it held around 11,000, just over 11,000, which is, yeah, the capacity it was at when it would have had its last game played here. Actually mad. I've obviously known about this story for a long time and I've wanted to make a video here for a while, but it's just weird to be here knowing what a huge club Bury were. I do wish the Phoenix club all the best, but like I say, we will be going to check out where they play in a bit. I do wish them all the best in their hunt to obviously get back to where a club of this size belongs. But look at this, the old ticket office even is still here. There must be plans and stuff to sort of try and get back here, because surely they'd have knocked it down. I'm not sure what the sort of process is for these things. Look at this, an old sign still up there. Season ticket refunds, unfortunately due to the club's credit card gateway being disconnected to non-payment, we are currently unable to process season ticket refunds. We strongly advise you to contact your credit card provider to seek your money back. Hopefully in the not too distant future this position can be reversed, allowing us to recommence processing refunds as normal. Please accept our apologies for this. Gordon's note is still there 2 years later, and hopefully in the not too distant future this position can be reversed. That not too distant future is getting quite distant. It still obviously hasn't happened. Wow. So I'm going to take you through a few records now of the club to demonstrate what a big club they are, what a big club they were, and why it's so sad the position that they find themselves in. Here goes. So, of course, I told you about Bury's incredible FA Cup final record. 6-0 in the final against Derby in 1903, only matched by Manchester City in 2019. In 2005, Bury became the first and still only club, listen to this, to score 1,000 goals, having played in each 4 of the professional tiers in England. That's some record. Their record points tally was 85 points just 6 years ago in League Two. Legendary goalkeeper Bruce Grobbelaar was their oldest ever player at nearly 41 years old. The highest attendance here was 35k in 1960 during an FA Cup match versus Bolton. Their highest league win was an 8-0 win over Tranmere in the 3rd Division in 1970. But yeah, I hope these stats kind of give you a bit of context on how much of a big club they were before they got kicked out of the EFL due to financial reasons. I'm not going to be able to delve too much into all the financial stuff just now. If anyone is a Bury fan or knows anything about the demise, stick some information in the comment section below. That is my best way of information, honestly, is listening to you guys, the fans of these clubs. Are you a fan of this club? Do you have any information about the financial demise? And what are your Bury memories? Are you a fan? Maybe you're an away fan who's been here for a few away days back in the day. Let's just check this building out really quick. How sad is that? Look at that. They were nicknamed the Shakers. Look at that, the 2018-19 home kit available now. That just shows you how long they've been without a football club. at this specific stadium. Of course, like I say, there's a Phoenix club now, but the fabric of Bury. What about these people who live opposite, right? What do they think of just living in this abandoned area of town now? Absolutely mad. Look at that. The shut shop of Bury. Home and away shirts, 10 quid. I imagine they were just trying to flog all of their products before they went out of existence. What about the businesses? Surely there's pubs and like cafes and other shops around here that were absolutely destroyed. Wow, look at this. Welcome to Gigg Lane, the home of Bury FC since 1885. Bury FC no longer exists, but look at that. Gigg Lane does. A shell of it anyway. I'd imagine that the ultimate aim for the Phoenix club is to get back to this place, to this ground. But look, literally everywhere I go, I see Rangers stickers. Rangers fans, hit that like button. Gonna have a walk around the perimeter, see if we can see over any walls or whatever. See if we can get a little sneak peek inside. But I imagine just on a match day, it was all hustle and bustle around here, and these little gates would have been manned by security guards working their corners, whether that be, you know, hospitality or checking tickets or whatever it may be. Just look at this. You can actually see into a little bit of the stands from around here. Let me do my best to give you a little bit of information on the actual demise then. Here we go. So the last owner of the club was a man called Steve Dale, and he ran the club into the ground. He essentially destroyed an institution which held a community together. Think how many people's livelihoods, their lives, their hobbies, their jobs were ruined by this man. This single man ruined so many people's lives. Wow, and look at this, the way the stadium is like right there next to all the residential housing here. Not sure I'll be able to get much further around. I don't want to start going in people's gardens, but let me just read you a quote that Steve Dale said. Ready? "I never went to Bury." This is the owner of the club. "I never went to Bury. So for me to walk away from Bury and never look back is a very easy thing to do." That in my eyes is pure evil. As a football lover, a neutral lover of pretty much all clubs, a couple aside, it's just so sad to think that anyone could think that about a club like Bury. This club had 2 FA Cups to its name. This man was a custodian of the club. Any owner of a football club needs to handle it with such care. You are the custodian. You are the owner of it, and it's a big responsibility. And like I say, it means a lot to the people who ultimately support the club and who it really belongs to at the end of the day. All of those achievements, all of those successes, all those players, all the fans that would have come to watch games here, whether they be a home fan or an away fan. Tears, laughter, joy, sadness, families, friends will have all come to watch football matches here, and it was all winked out of existence in an instant due to the actions of one abhorrent owner. But there is hope. Like I say, there is a Phoenix club now. Slightly different name, AFC Bury, or Bury AFC. We're going to go towards their ground now. Sadly, they don't play here. Is the plan to move back here? Bury fans or AFC Bury fans, do let me know in the comment section below. Oh, that's sad. Putting Bury FC at the heart of the community. See, these clubs, these non-massive clubs, you know, these teams that aren't in the Premier League and stuff, are so vital to the community. They give people something to do. They give people life at the weekends and stuff. They give people a meaning. They give people a purpose. But yeah, let's go and check out the new ground of the new club. Crazy though that this was allowed to happen to Bury in the world of, like I say, Grealish going to Man City for 100 million. Super agents like Mino Raiola and George Mendes getting yeah, millions and millions, hundreds of millions across the course of their career. You can't really fault them as people, I guess. It's more the systems that are in place that allow things like that to happen, and then clubs wink out of existence. The rules are there, I guess, so that you can't just run the club into the ground and then just be saved by a magic pot of money. There was talk about clubs in the EFL having, or even the Premier League, having a 10% tax on transfers. I don't think you should do that. Maybe a 1% tax on agent fees to help maybe struggling clubs, but sometimes clubs are struggling of their own accord. But they now play here, AFC Bury, the Phoenix club, Bury AFC even, at Radcliffe FC. We are 2 or 3 miles away from Bury, their old stadium. This looks like to be called the Newven Stadium, maybe for sponsorship reasons, but here we go now. Let's have a quick peek inside as these gates do look open. Look, there's a groundsman over there, and this is where Bury now play. I wonder if the thought for Bury now is to try and get back to Gigg Lane. Let's go and try and chat to somebody. I must admit, I do love these videos where I just turn up randomly at places, but like I say, it is a little bit of a lottery. So just spoke to one of the groundsmen there of Radcliffe FC, and I think he was saying they're actually higher than Bury now. So this club, Radcliffe FC, unless you're from the area, I mean, I'd never heard of them before until I started researching this video, a club that you've probably never heard of, are higher in the pyramid system now than a club that has won 2 FA Cups. Technically, it's not the same club. They got the same name, they're from the same town, they got the same fans, I imagine. So yeah, it's a strange one, but hopefully Bury can bounce back up. So yeah, Bury, the team that obviously I knew growing up, playing in League One and stuff, are now playing teams like Birtley here in the FA Vars. But let me just find out a little bit more information about them for you. They currently play in the North West Counties Football League. Whereabouts is that in the pyramid? I think that's about 8th, is it not? 8th tier? What tier is that? Level on the pyramid, 9th to 10th tier. It was formed by a group of supporters who resolved to make a club, a Phoenix club, and the name of Bury, of course. 300 Bury FC fans came forward to help, and they formed a company registered as Bury Football Club 2019 Limited, trading as Bury AFC. The club is fan-owned, and their motto is by the fans, for the fans. And yeah, it's some story. On a sad, grey day like this, I couldn't have picked a more sort of apt time, I guess, to come and make this video. And here we are at the home of Radcliffe FC, now sharing with one of the biggest teams in Manchester and the Manchester area, outside of Man United and Man City. Of course, there's Oldham, there's Rochdale, there's Altrincham, but are any quite as big as Bury? Or the old Bury, at least? Raises some questions, this video, about what is the true club. I make a lot of videos up in Scotland, that's where I live, and I'm sure there's a lot of Scottish people watching, so hello. Every time I make a Rangers video and talk about them winning 55 league titles, the comments will be flooded by fans of other clubs saying, how can a team that's, what is it, 12 or 9 years old or whatever, win 55 league titles? They've only won 1. And that is technically true if you count the business as the football club. Whereas for me, a football club is the name, it's the badge, it's the fans. So for me, this AFC Bury that now play here, that will want to get back to Gigg Lane, I imagine, are still the Bury that won the FA Cups. The fans will still remember it as such. And just because some dickhead of an owner runs it into the ground, that's not an excuse for the club to then lose and be stripped of all their titles. Okay, technically the company that the football club was is no longer that company, but surely it's the name, it's the badge, it's the fans, it's the soul, it's the heart, it's the colours of that club which makes it that club. But they will now play here, ground sharing with the home of Radcliffe FC. Look at that, grey skies on a very grey day, a very sombre video this one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit that like button. I'll leave some videos on screen right now. If you could click on one to carry on watching, that'd be amazing. If you could also subscribe, that'd be fantastic. It'd be great to see you around here a little bit more often. Thank you so much, and goodbye.